All right, so we are getting into it for real. Both players not starting off immediately. You'd love to see it.
Gonna get a nice, clean, even start.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
All right, and we are off here into Geyser Rock. Everybody's favorite stage. I mean, how can you not like Geyser Rock? This is such a nice stage, such a comfy stage.
Very iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aslov there.
Yeah, that first cutscene skip is pretty swag. Definitely have been appreciating that over the tournament when people do manage to snag it. It is a pretty high level trick for sure, but it's what, a 3-second time save, something like that?
I believe so.
Alright, that's good because I just made that time up, so I'm glad I'm correct.
It's just about there.
Perfect.
I think it's a little close to like 1 or 2 seconds, but you know, it's still like within that few seconds.
That is good to know. I will start things off here. We do have a donation that came through already, which is pretty poggers. We got Troy coming in with a $20 donation saying, let's get this dono train going. Thank you so much, Troy, for kicking things off here. Troy, one of our resident commentators, of course. Much appreciated to him. Should be paying him, but he is instead paying into the Urban Arts Partnership, which, I mean, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Good training, boys, but that's nothing compared to
That's
the
all
challenges that lie ahead.
good and wholesome right there. Love to see it.
Problem. We got the moves, eh, Jack? We'd love to stay and chat, Big Green, but we're
Yeah, when I first heard about the UAP, I mean, not to talk about UAP the whole match or anything like that, but you know, during this cutscene when Samos is just babbling on, I think we have some time. When I first heard about the UAP, I was like, oh man, you know, pretty sick that this charity is going to be like helping us put on these tournaments, right? I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what the heck is UAP? Like, I don't even know what that is. But like, the more I learned about the UAP, like, UAP is pretty awesome. Like, for me, like, growing up, like, I always wanted to be in, like the game design field. I always wanted to go to college for game design. Never ended up going. And I'm not, like, from a family that wouldn't be able to afford it, but for those kids that wouldn't be able to do it, like, I can't imagine how hard it is for a lot of them to get into college for those particular reasons. So,
Yeah, exactly.
very cool that UAP does that as we head off into Sandover Village here to collect a few power cells. TJ, maybe you could tell us a little bit about this category for some players in the audience that might not have been watching the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. So we got here our nice no LTS category, which LTS is lava tube skip, which we will not be doing for this run. And one of the requirements for this category is you have to reach the lava tube with 72 power cells across. So they're going to be collecting 72 power cells as fast as they possibly can.
What do you have in the basket?
Nothing to talk
Yeah, that's a lot of power cells. I mean, there's only 100 power cells in this game, so you got to collect 72 out of 100. That's a lot. That's almost 3/4 of the power cells in the game, so pretty
Yeah.
cool that this is, you know, the main category that people run in this game, in my opinion.
Think you can do better. Try
Yeah,
scooping
and even
up
then,
the
there's
fish
even
right
101
here.
power cells.
I'll give you a power
Wait, really?
if you can
Yes,
catch
there is.
200 pounds of them critters. And then I'll let
Am I being
you
baited right now?
use my speedboat to get
Nope,
to
there
the
there is 101 power cells.
Am I just misremembering the amount of power cells, or is there like a secret one?
1 pound fishies
Uh,
and 5 pound
I
fishies.
don't think any of them don't show up in the pause menu. I think it's
Then I'm
Um.
take me net back from you.
G3. You know there's 101.
Eels in this river.
Oh my god, I swear. Okay, for anybody in the chat that thinks I'm a fake Jak and Daxter gamer, I have a run on the board. It's in Hundo, and it's really, really good. If you want to go check it out. My spider cave is just immaculate. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, that's where if we're playing Jak and Daxter, then it's only 100. But if we're playing Jak and Daxter, then it's 101.
I don't
I
get
think,
it.
I think that's where it differs off.
I don't get it. It's been a while. Okay, I vaguely think I remember 101 power cells being the number now, but I thought you said I had 69th place, and I was gonna say nice, but I'll just say nice anyways. Proud of myself. Either way, I'm very proud of both these players fishing. Flu right now, apparently having an excellent fishing.
Yeah.
Compared to Aslov.
They're pretty on par with each other in terms of when they started. But you can see that Flu is definitely a little bit ahead in terms of how many pounds of fish, so he's getting a little bit of better RNG right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming out of fishing with perhaps a lead for Flu. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
World record holder should be the best at fish, right?
Yeah. On Aslov, you mean to tell me that you don't have better RNG right now?
You did it! You caught 200 pounds of fish! Not bad for a couple of landlubbers.
I think I heard some meme that like Flu has fishing world record. Was that a meme or is that a true thing? It's
No,
like
I
a
believe
track
that's
statistic.
Yeah, so on our category extension boards, there is an IL for fishing. I believe it's an IL. I don't believe he has it anymore. I think it's Stellar that has it now, but it was pretty much to see who could get the best fish.
Seems like a very worthwhile endeavor. I can't imagine doing anything more with my life than just sitting in the Forbidden Jungle and doing the fishing minigame over and over.
Yeah. That's where most of the time it ends up being fish from somebody's hundo runs. Because that's where, for hundo, we'll do what we dub fish manip, which is just yep, that's a good series of words there.
Words are hard.
Fish manip, fish manip starts it mostly in Forbidden Jungle, and from what we can tell, doing the Mirrors mission in Forbidden Jungle gives you better RNG on fish. So
interesting.
We'll do that before we do fish and hundo, so that we can get better fish and take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's an extremely high-level hundo runner. I definitely know all about that. But looks like both players really synced up here, heading up to the top of the tower.
Yeah, they are very neck and neck.
Yeah, I do believe that Flu came to play today, although, I don't know. I mean, have either of these players been grinding much? I know a lot of players sort of took a break, like sort of like midway during the tournament. Some players were like practicing at the beginning, and then there's a little bit of fall off in terms of player tryhardness. I don't know the proper wordage there, but it tends to happen. That tends to be why we try not to have these tournaments drag on too long. When tournaments take 4 or 5 months, people start having to drop out and stuff. That's no good.
Yeah, we're so lucky that in the Jak community, we've never had any tournament for whatever reason go on for that long.
Yeah, no, definitely
never
not.
once. We definitely didn't spend 9 months doing bingo or anything like that.
Yeah, I remember we were like trying to do when we like announced this tournament, we were trying to do the 2v2 bingo finals on the GSA channel, and then like it was like half my fault and then half just like scheduling issues. And then eventually I think GT was just like, screw it, we're just doing it on the Jak Speedruns channel, like we gotta get this done, like.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. I think at that point I didn't know anything about it taking that long, but looks like both players here knocking out. Wasn't there a name we gave to the Piranha Plant? Can't remember the name.
I don't know. I
think that was like a Stellar/Six Rock meme. Stellar or Six Rocker in the chat. Maybe we can uncover that lore.
That sounds like something they would come up with.
It was something really dumb. It was like a Harry Potter name or something. Oh, we forgot a prediction. We gotta do the late prediction. Sorry, predictions are very important.
Oh, Plant Boss is Jack Sparrow. I like it. Yeah, so we see here they're using a bit of save and load manipulation with checkpoints to get to a better spot in Sandover Village to take the boat to Misty Island. Which Aslov's getting a little bit of a head start in the Misty Island, but still, Flu is hot on his tail.
I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter, I was close. Jack Sparrow, pretty good client boss name. I don't really understand it. I don't think the creators of that name understand it, but that's alright. But yeah, as you were saying, Misty Island, I mean, there's quite a bit that can go wrong here for either player.
Yeah.
I mean, starting right here, grabbing this Muse, very important. Aslov nabbing it very easily. It's like Blue will as well. As soon as you miss that Muse and the Muse starts running around, jumping off cliffs, it's like, it becomes infinitely more difficult to track down.
Yeah. I remember from being a kid and just trying to chase down that Muse. I mean, so much easier now that, like, you know, I have actual, like, strats to do it, but doing it as a kid, I would spend probably at least 10 minutes just chasing him around.
Yeah, I mean, getting him right off the bat it's like cheesing the final boss, honestly. It might as well be the final boss of Misty Island.
Yeah.
Forget the ambush section, that is definitely the hardest segment of Misty.
Muse is harder than final boss, change my mind.
We do have the official Jak Speedruns channel here, calling out the players. If you guys haven't watched the tournament and you do enjoy the Jak Speedruns going on, there are tournaments all the time. I believe there's a Jak 3 No Out of Bounds tournament going on recently. I think that just wrapped up.
Yeah, I believe we just finished that, or we're still in the process of finishing that. Honestly, it was one of the ones where once I got eliminated from that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna not pay attention to this anymore because I have a lot of stuff going on in life.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you always want to try to support the community tournaments, but even just like pulling up and throwing your hat in the ring is super important, especially for games like Jak and Daxter, where, you know, there's enough runners to do tournaments, but if there's not players, you know, that are busy coming in and like doing a run anyways, like they'd be so much like lighter events, honestly, in terms of player count. And mad respect to the gamers that, you know, just turn up, throw in a couple of runs, even if they're not completely practiced. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to do so.
You see Aslov nailing the Zeppelin cycle. Blue might be it. No, it's got to wait on this last Zeppelin just a little bit. But otherwise, also nearly nailing the cycle. Which, Misty Fast Cycle, it's not necessarily one of the hardest things to hit, but it definitely takes a lot of practice, and you need to have a super consistent Misty.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody that has a consistent Misty, I mean, it's gonna be Aslov, world record holder extraordinaire. Flu, battling his hardest so far, but already losing a bit of ground here to Aslov. Aslov, just too speedy right now. It's hard to keep up with this man.
Yeah, and Aslov got that boosted Ledgerless. It was just nice and clean. And we see Flu do the same. Nice clean boosted from both runners. Overall, very clean Misties.
I've completely exposed myself saying there's 100 power cells in this game. I should have just kept my mouth shut and been like, wow, 72 is a big number. Wowzers.
Well, you know, we all say things.
Luckily, as a tournament organizer in the Jak community, nobody will ever make fun of me, right? I've never seen a tournament organizer be mocked in this community.
Yeah, in the Jak community, we would never go as far as, you know, like, playful mocking of someone who just made an innocent mistake.
I'm curious who's on the Jak Speedruns channel right now. It's gotta be G3, right?
Oh, I would make a pretty decent bet on that.
G3 defending himself in the chat room. You'd love to see it as we pull into Sentinel Beach here. Everyone's favorite stage. Did Sentinel Beach win the stage bracket tournament? I'm not even sure, honestly, what won that.
I believe so, yes. It was a Twitter poll going tournament style with all the different levels in the game, and I believe the last two levels it came down to was Sentinel and Snowy, which, in my opinion, Snowy should have won. But
I don't know about that.
I think Sentinel's still a pretty solid level. It definitely wasn't my favorite as a kid. I definitely preferred Forbidden Jungle a bit more, but
Forbidden Jungle is an underrated level for sure. I mean, I definitely am on the Sentinel Beach team. It's just my like, if I think about this game, I'm like on the beach in my brain.
yeah, that's fair enough. For me, I just like being in Snowy Mountain. There's just something about it.
It is comfy. I mean, snow is very relaxing.
Yeah.
It can be a nice, I mean, when it snows outside for the first time in a year, I don't know. Some people really hate the snow, but definitely a comfy time for me, as both players here successfully spooking some birds, so not going to have any double backing. You love to see that.
They got nice and decent birds for the most part.
I think LPC is a very fair assessment as well. I think LPC is a top tier level. If you think about Jak and Daxter and you're thinking about Boggy Swamp, you might want to go see some sort of professional about that, because yeah, that's just not acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, Boggy Swamp, you know, it's fun, but boy, it's got so much going on.
Boggy
in
Swamp
it.
is not fun. I'm sorry. Boggy Swamp's got like these awful tar pits you can't go into. It's got like explosive dark eco crate minefields. I don't know. I mean, you get to ride Flood, I guess, but
yeah, well, that's where it's like that's what makes it up for me in Boggy Swamp, is getting to ride Flood for that little section. Of course, it's immediately met like, afterwards by the Rats minigame, which just takes it all back downhill again.
yeah, the guy that introduces the minigame is pretty cool though. As we got both players here wrapping up Sentinel. I really like the movement here at the end of Sentinel. There's some nice,
yeah.
I don't know what it's called when you like do a long roll jump and then you do a jump immediately afterwards with a lot of height, but anywhere where you can do that a bunch,
Yeah,
definitely gets my...
that would pretty much be like your just roll jump into a high jump. It's one of my favorite game mechanics. Is just that extra like little like boost up. It's just so satisfying to hit, and then as they're going through this section with Blue Eco to one, get the vent that's up next to the Flatfoot egg, but then also after this they're going to be trying to use a little bit of that Blue Eco to get their last Scout Fly. It's just so satisfying to watch when it's done cleanly.
Absolutely. So both players here meeting the bird lady for the first time. Another fan favorite NPC. There's some pretty quality NPCs here in Hub 1. I'm a big fan of the sculptor, but bird lady's definitely a good one.
Sculptor is definitely one of my favorites.
Sculptor's just a homie.
Yeah, he's just there. He's having a good time. Looks like Flu is a little over-orbed, which isn't a bad thing. You just spend a little extra time grabbing orbs. Less orbs he's got to grab later.
I won't need it now that I have my inspiration back.
You're wrapping up Sentinel. Typically, you want to have somewhere in like the mid 230 range, and collecting the rest of your orbs on the way to the Oracle. So you need 240 orbs for both power cells that the Oracle contains.
Who awakens the Oracle?
Nice quick 2 power cells.
One of you has the light within. From before time, I have watched and waited for the true hero.
Oh, we had a poll going on? I didn't even know. Oh, Sag. I would have...
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's like an undercover poll. That doesn't count. Can we get a re-poll here? That's cheating. You can't tell me there's not a poll. Or not tell me there's a poll.
I'll agree with a re-poll on that. I didn't even notice it.
I'm expecting G3 like started a poll. It was like Snowy Mountain or Sentinel Beach, 20 seconds, and then just voted 8 times.
I could see that.
That's what I feel like just happened. Because I didn't even notice.
That sounds like something G3 would do.
Okay, it's starting again. Alright, everybody vote between Snowy Mountain and Sentinel Beach. Oh wait, you can't even rig this poll. That's unique.
Oh, is it only one vote?
Yeah, wow. This is like an actual democracy. Usually we rig the polls here so you can just put in a bunch of channel points or bits and you know, choose which one you want, but I guess we can be democratic today. I guess that's fine.
Well, for the most part, we tend to be above rigging our polls, but you know, occasionally we'll do it.
Apparently there's a lot of Snowy Mountain enjoyers out there.
Oh yeah, I think for the most part, a lot of us just like being in Snowy Mountain when we get to the run. Like, Snowy Mountain is definitely like a stressful part in the run, but I think what makes it so stressful is it being the last like main level that we collect any power cells in for the run. At least I'd say major power cells.
Don't forget to activate the teleport
but other than that, like getting to Snowy Mountain is just comfy vibes.
Alright, so
I'm coming to Fire Canyon now.
Yeah, Fire Canyon. I used to have a hard time with Fire Canyon as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. I was really stressed out about the heat meter, even though it's incredibly easy to keep your heat meter down. So I would just get really, really stressed out and then just like fly into the wall and like blow up in lava. But
yeah,
I don't think we'll see any problems here for either runner. Pretty much a straightforward, just get to the end of the racing segment, basically.
It's pretty easy to manage your heat here, so long as you're hitting all the balloons that you need to, you're getting enough height on different jumps.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things I didn't realize when I was growing up, is that getting off the ground lowers your height meter. So I'd be like beelining it to the balloons and just like flying over lava. And yeah, it turns out that does not help you.
Yeah. I remember realizing very fast that you typically want to avoid the spots of ground there that don't have like the rocks over it, I guess. I guess that's what you would call the pattern when it's just a straight lava, though. It's just a straight lava, then you just start burning up super fast. And both didn't make it through cleanly. Still very near neck and neck.
Yep, Aslov and Flu both doing the Blue Sage cutscene skip here, so doing a technique called a pause buffer, which is going to let you hit this button here, activate the cutscene, and pause immediately afterwards. Wouldn't normally be able to do that, but since we pause buffered, able to save and load back to our last little area, the last checkpoint here, and avoid the cutscene. So we're going to be avoiding that cutscene for the rest of this hub, but luckily the trigger area isn't too large, so it does skip a pretty long cutscene there. Obviously a time save.
There's really only one other spot with Hub 2 that you have to worry about potentially triggering the cutscene, and that's on the way to LBC, which, if I remember correctly, I think I did that during one of my matches.
There's been a couple Blue Sage cutscene enjoyers in the tournament, we'll just say that for sure.
Yeah.
Gonna have to ask the stats department about that, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, don't have a big fat spreadsheet like we have for the SMO tournament. I don't know if you've seen that, but the SMO tournament has like the most intense spreadsheet I've ever seen for stats. Like they count like every single trick, how many times like runners go for it and how many times they get it, and everybody's split times and who has the best times. It's pretty cool, but it's a lot of work. Shoutouts to our stats guys working on that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wish we had $1 million and could just hire him to do that for every game because it is so nice. Like when you're doing like a head-to-head matchup and you can just look at the stat sheet and see exactly how like far behind a runner is or like how their split was compared to average. It's pretty cool.
Right, we see Aslov get a one-cycle plant very nicely. Didn't have to go back for more green eco. So Flu is just behind him on plants.
Yeah, I will say Precursor Basin here, one of my least favorite areas in the Hundo run just because of the moles. The lightning moles are probably the most annoying power cell in the game, but luckily in no LTS, we can just skip over lightning moles because it's not a particularly fast power cell. So we can just skip over that. Lightning moles, I don't like them.
Yeah.
Get them out of here.
For it has twisted the fate of one of you.
Yeah, lightning moles are definitely something that
For each
it's a strong deterring factor for Hundo, I'd say. Being that moles, like, when you know what to do, you can do it pretty well. But even then, sometimes they just don't want to cooperate.
for your sacrifice, I offer you a power cell.
It's just like, don't you want to go home? I see a burrow right there.
Okay, Aslov going for some interesting movements here. Gonna be heading straight over to the pontoons.
Cool. Alright, and then for this part, so on the way to LPC is another spot where you can trigger the Blue Sage cutscene. All you gotta do is make sure you keep your camera, for the most part, to the left of the pontoons, and then you should be fine.
Yeah, that's the other part we were talking about where we gotta avoid that Blue Sage cutscene. We'll remind the gamers in the chat right now, we are raising money for the Urban Arts Partnership. We've been talking about them all tournament, doing great things for the kids out there. If you can spare a buck or two, do help us out in supporting them. It will help us out as well in the long run, as we are all in it together. But looks like Aslov nailing the boosteds in this room. This room can be tricky as a beginner. Definitely the more tricky room in LPC. You got a bunch of boosteds you gotta do in a chain, but just kind of nailing them here.
Yeah, ever since I first got into speedrunning this game, just seeing the movement through LPC has always blown my mind. It's always just been super cool, super fluid movement, especially with all the boosteds in this room that Flu is now doing. There you go, nails the boosteds on the way to the button. Now we got Aslov on his way to puzzle skip. Taking 1 damage so he can death walk out of it. And he nails it. Yeah, Aslov's getting some real good inputs right now. I'll agree with 6 on that. Aslov's at a fun part of LPC.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, I think fun's a good word.
A challenging endeavor there for sure. I mean, doing piggyback skip is really frustrating, especially as a noob like me.
Yeah.
It can be very intimidating going for that trick. You gotta get out of bounds for starters, but then after that it comes the real hard part where you gotta make it up to the ledge and do a kind of blind boosted where your camera doesn't really behave properly. But these runners are very seasoned at this trick. We'll see if Flu's able to nail it first try. Looks like we're going to be okay, and not even hesitating there. Very nice.
Love to see it. Yeah, piggyback is definitely one of those tricks where, as a beginner, it's very intimidating. Like, you can watch how somebody does it, but unless you understand really what's going on there, it can be super hard to hit. Ooh. Aslov gets hit by a bad cycle there and takes a death.
Yeah, we're going for a vents clip here from Aslov. Again, no hesitation, just going straight for it. Not slowing down. You're going straight down to the power cell here. Very, very fast stuff from Aslov.
Yeah. Doesn't even hesitate to stop at one of the platforms and position himself to go down. He just goes straight for it.
That's crazy.
And we see because of that death, Flu had a bit of a moment to catch up. Getting a little bit of a bad cycle, but you know, not much he can do about that.
Yeah, as we see Flu here grabbing the last power cell inside of LPC. We got this one up here that Aslov's grabbing that technically is part of LPC, but I mean, can we really count as part of LPC? I don't know. Before we head over to Boggy Swamp, but we do have a donation coming in, $10 donation coming from Andy Gavin. Wow, thank you, Andy.
Wow.
Andy says, greetings from donation. Long-time runner, first-time runner. I am donating because my games has died from frames. Thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate that. Very cool donation. Definitely not a meme donation.
Based. Very based. And then we see here, Aslov's going to grab the checkpoint at the end of Boggy there just in case, because he doesn't want to have to come all the way back in case he doesn't get any of the Boggies out of bounds first try. We see Flu also took a different route going into Boggy, where he opted to save, or he opted to load after collecting that last power cell.
Dude, what if it was a real Andy Gavin? I like that comment out of Mike. Sign my dropped input. If only.
Yeah, if that was like actual real Andy Gavin, that's pretty based, you know. That's pretty cool.
I'm sure it is. Nobody on the internet would ever lie, right?
Never. Why would anyone do that? Lying on the internet, it's bad. Let's see, both runners are getting good Boggy out of bounds. Aslov gets the flood clip.
Yeah, making it look relatively easy there. We have seen players struggle quite a bit on that clip. So, very nice stuff from Aslov, just making everything look easy so far. I mean, is Aslov on it? Like, what's his pace looking like? That's my question.
Sure.
It's not looking super bad, but I mean, not literally world record pace. I mean,
right.
I don't know what's up with that. I mean, I was expecting a world record here in the first semifinal. Kind of weird, champ.
Well, opening up his stream, it looks like coming out of LPC, he was about 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, you like that black on black splits?
Yeah. Like real
very
nice.
easy to read.
Uh-huh.
The real strat is you make your red splits green so that you trick the pace pals.
Yeah.
That's the real pro strat.
Yo! He's on pace! Oh, never mind. His numbers are just green. Both of them getting very solid boggies. For me, though, all the new out-of-bounds boggy, all the newfangled clips with flut and whatnot, too much for me to keep up with.
Yeah, honestly, my brain is too small for that as well, but I like to pretend like I know. You know, you'd be like, wow, out of bounds movement, that saves amount of time. Very cool.
I believe, if I recall correctly, this newer buggy route saves roughly 20 seconds over the old one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing that what's it called? It saves that much. Let's see, Aslov going for deload. Is Flu gonna go for lava walk? I'm kind of hoping he will. And he will.
Ooh, that's a good call, I think. So if you're Flu, I mean, you're not gonna really be able to topple the gamer Aslov here without him putting up a fight. So I mean, going for a strat that's pretty risky, but could definitely save some time here. We'll see if Flu's able to nab it. It is a bit tricky to get. Oh, okay.
Oh, I think
thought
it was
we were
too
good.
far left on that.
Sag.
Yeah, if you're too far to the left on that, you kind of get caught on the platform again, and then you end up burning. Very unfortunate.
I gotta say, shoutouts to G3 in the chat for mistyping the racers command so that it gave me time to update the racers command. Really appreciate that. I definitely did not forget to do that at the beginning of the race, 100%.
You know, that's what G3 is here for. You know, he mistypes racer commands, he in the FFZ settings turns you into a bot on the Jak Speedruns channel. You know, things happen.
Alright, we are turning around here, going for stalagmite hops here, and not gonna grab it, unfortunately.
Oh, that was so close.
Yeah, just a little bit too low, unfortunately, not able to nab that. Of course, has some time to play with here, so not hitting it isn't the biggest deal, but we'll have to, at the end of this race, turn around and go back to grab that power cell. So, I mean, another small opening here for Flu. Flu opts to go for some sort of hops at the end of this little zoomer section. It could be an idea. I mean, I don't know. G3 saying in the chat that he thinks that Flu should just play a safe, consistent game, but I don't know if I personally agree. I mean, if you're going up against somebody who is, I don't want to say much better than Flu, but definitely has a significantly better PB, I think it's definitely a fair idea to just try to ball out and go for crazy strats. I think it's, there's a couple different schools of thought, obviously, in the speed racing scene, but for me personally, I like to try to go all out if I'm going against somebody. And it looks like Flu going to be going for the stalagmite hops, so we'll see if it works out here. And it does, so Flu gonna be having a nice time save here, as Aslov has already turned around and grabbed that, but as you will see, Flu won't have to go back and grab this power cell.
Yeah. Aslov was able to get it nice on the second try, going back for it after the race. But, you know, Flu getting a first try and then being able to go and finish the race, that's massive.
Yeah, that's a definite big time. I mean, imagine if Flu was able to now lava walk and the hops there. That would have been absolutely crazy. It would definitely be
yeah, it would be neck and neck right now. I think Flu would actually probably be ahead.
Yeah, maybe by a tiny bit. And that's just a testament to just how good Aslov's movement is. I mean, Aslov obviously not going for the craziest strats. Did go for stalagmite hops, but skipping over lava walk immediately.
Right.
Just can be confident in that movement and just not be super worried about getting any major tricks.
I believe one of the last times I heard, Aslov said he was about 50-50 with stalagmite hops. So, you know, when it comes to something like lava walk where, you know, it's not RNG, but it is definitely random in the sense of whether or not you're going to get it. You know, sometimes that's just not worth it, but then when it comes to something where, you know, you're about 50-50 on it and it's just whether or not, like, it's all on you, then you might as well. Oh, Aslov.
Do it again, I wasn't looking.
That was a bit painful.
I heard the Jak, which signifies we messed up. But I was,
Yeah.
I was looking at the commands for a second there.
Aslov missed the boosted, and then on this way going back to it, he unfortunately fell to the void.
Oof. I mean, if you're a Flu fan, that's definitely something that we are looking at. I mean, it's not looking like that big of a difference anymore.
Yeah, so long as Flu can nail this. There we go. Flu is getting right back up on Aslov again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty long hill to climb still, but definitely keeping it. I mean, it's definitely keeping it close. Flu is staying in this game till the bitter end, and we only have about 15 to 20 minutes left in this one. But if Aslov makes any sort of mistakes, even minor mistakes here, will potentially give Flu the lead, as Flu has come to play today.
Yeah. Flu is giving his A game right now. You know, he's had his hiccups here and there, but you know, obviously everyone's gonna have their different hiccups here and there. But for the most part, he has been given a good race. So we've got Aslov entering the Dark Cave portion of Spider Cave, which personally I hated this part of Spider Cave when I was a kid. I hated Spider Cave in general.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
the only good part about Spider Cave was the fact that the big spiders didn't respawn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty well-designed level. I'm not gonna dock Spider Cave too much. I mean, it's no boggy swamp, but
yeah,
it's down there on my tier ranking, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely like
ranking.
It's a pretty solid level in terms of like all the different things it's got going on in it, but just being the fact that it's a spider level, though, you know, that's already taking away from me. I'm not a big spider fan.
Yeah, spiders are spooky. Everybody's like, I don't know, if there's like a spider in my house, like everybody's always like, oh, I gotta save the spiders, they're so good. Like, I don't know, if there's a spider in my room, it's dead. I'm sorry, I can't risk the chance of the spider getting away, and then I'm trying to sleep and I'm like, where's the spider? Is the spider in my face?
Yeah,
I can't do it. So sorry to all the spider fans in the chat. I'm not one of them. As we see Aslov here, that was pretty hot.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see that. That was cool.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that was actually a new one for me.
What was that, like just like a boosted to get up there in some particular cycle? How do you even like manage that?
Honestly, I wasn't even aware that that boosted was a thing.
Perhaps
Flu going for the classic quad jumps.
Yeah, perhaps commentators a little bit under-knowledged here. Perhaps Aslov reinventing the wheel, not completely sure, but definitely showing us some cool strats.
You know, I can understand, you know, being out of the loop a little bit for myself sometimes, but you know, something like that, you know, just didn't know that was something I had missed. Granted, obviously, I don't think anyone's gonna really know what they've missed if they've missed it.
Good point. Either way, we got both players up the gondola. It's a snowy mountain here. Apparently everyone's favorite level. I don't know. I'm still a Sentinel Beach supporter. But we will be only having to ride this gondola once, hopefully. Okay, that was interesting.
Nice rocket there.
Not sure if that's particularly useful, but definitely look cool.
It's more just looks cool. Aslov paying attention to the snowballs there because he knows he has 1 health. Landing on the scout flies so that he wouldn't have to break it manually. Alright. nailing the flip-foot sketch. Yep, the flip-foot section skip.
Yeah, very good stuff. You oftentimes see players struggling pretty hard there. I mean, not all the time, obviously, but with that little skip there, when it rains, it definitely pours. I've seen players on pretty fat PV pace just completely melt down at that point, and Flu's able to nab it. Looks like a first try from Flu as well, so both players showing that they belong here in the playoffs. Looking pretty solid.
Man, that yellow switch skip just, I don't know, something about that just looks super sketchy to me. Oh, and he nails the 2-frame jump. So that right there, you have 2 frames to hit a, I guess it's a rocket uppercut. And it allows you to get up to where you want to be at the ice that Aslov's out right now a lot faster. See, Flu does not get it. Unfortunate, but there are other strats. I'm expecting just some nice, just fluid movement for the rest of the run, hopefully. Aslov nailing the last shield lurker. I always feel like there's a different name for them, and I can never come up with a better name. Like, I almost always want to call them like blockers, but I know they're not blockers. That's the other things that we're hitting at Snowy.
That's the name of zombies in every single modern zombie movie.
Yeah.
Everything in this game is just called a lurker. Lurker sharks, lurkers, flying lurkers. I mean, they didn't really try too hard in the name department, unfortunately.
See Aslov leading Fortress with 218 on the orb count. He's gonna take some interesting movement on the ice there. It looked like he wanted to grab some extra orbs. It did look a little low on orbs for my own taste, personally. I generally like to leave the fortress with around closer to, 220 to 225-ish. It's usually a good safe amount, but Aslov's a world record holder. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree here. Gonna be taking some damage there. As we head over to the gondola skip, so it will be very important that both players get this skip coming up, as it does save a decent amount of time, and missing it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I believe it is 40 seconds that you save getting it. And Aslov's also taking damage so that he can just die on foot afterwards, rather than having to save and load, which would take just a little bit longer.
Yeah, little optimizations that definitely add up, but obviously hitting gondola skip, the big important thing here, as Flu is attempting it now. Looks like we are A-okay in that department as well, so not the most, I don't want to say it's easy, but like, once you're at this level, gondola skip is definitely not such an intimidating hurdle to climb. But it is nice to see it. We have seen some players fail it in the tournament, and it does hurt.
Yeah. We have a correction that it's closer to 30 seconds. That is my bad.
Don't you have your Jak and Daxter time save dictionary open? I'm confused.
I have mine right here. I think the 40 seconds is in hundo for gondola skip, if I'm remembering right. But I could just be remembering completely incorrectly. I'm just pulling 40 out of nowhere.
Well, I have absolutely no clue, so I'm just gonna go with 30 or whatever.
I heard 40 like once or twice, and I just kind of stuck with it. So, I just kind of stick with it until somebody corrects me.
Temperatures up to 800 degrees, but no more. So keep an eye on your gauge.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to think about what those temperatures would do to your zoomer if the shield
Six doesn't know about non-speedrun categories, apparently.
Yeah, so while we are sitting here listening to Daxter complain a lot, like everyone likes to do, might as well shout out the Urban Arts Partnership once more. We'll remind everybody we are raising money for them today, so it's been a long tournament. We've talked a lot about UAP and the things they do for students all across the United States, sending them to school for game design through scholarships, through hands-on training, helping out lots of underprivileged students in areas that don't necessarily have the best education systems, best support networks for their students. So if you have a couple bucks to spare, I mean, Andy Gavin pulled through, donated $10 earlier. I'm sure there's some other gamers in the chat that could possibly help out as well. We even have some pretty epic swag up for grabs if you're into that, as we see Aslov going for some pretty cool stuff here. Maybe you can tell me about it, TJ.
Yeah, so we got Aslov going for the 6 eco strat here, where right in that little shortcut in Lava Tube, that is the only spot that there is blue eco in Lava Tube, which... Oh, and now he's also going for Orange's skip, and he nails it.
Yo!
That was amazing. I'm not sure if he's gonna do Citadel hops. I kind of hope he will, just because I would love to see that.
I mean, he's got to do Citadel hops, right? Why wouldn't he at this point?
Yeah. So it looks like he's going a little slower, so I don't think he opted to go for 6 eco, but he's also flying through Lava Tube now. But 6 eco is generally the strat that you want to go for, or now if you're a top level contender for no LTS. And it allows for one of our newest skips. Oh, he gets hit by that bomb, and so he knows that he's not going to be able to nail it the rest of the way. But at least he was able to tell right before, you know, like anything major could happen with it.
To answer the question in the chat, I don't believe either runner is technically on PB pace here. I know Aslov definitely isn't. I mean, I think Flu is like 5 seconds or something off, if I'm not mistaken. Splits are showing like -10 on his stream, but I think he's running up against some different splits here. So.
Perhaps.
But it's on a pretty hot run. I mean, playing that close to your PB in a race is pretty crazy. It just shows that Flu, you know, didn't show up to throw the match. Flu is here to win. No channel point rigging here, although GSA channel points, pretty prestigious stuff. Pretty sure it's the #1 cryptocurrency on the planet.
You know, as long as I don't start seeing any GSA NFTs start popping up.
Gonna get some really cringe monkey avatar for the GSA main Twitter page. I mean, look, I mean, you said I couldn't have it, but I mean, it's coming. I'm just gonna say it right now, it's coming. I'm sorry.
All right. And we have Flu just behind Aslov in Final Boss. This has been an amazing race to watch. Very close between both runners.
Oh yeah, definitely very, very close race. Worthy of a semifinal spot here. And you gotta love Flu keeping it this close to the end. I mean, at this point, it would take something catastrophic from Aslov. Would have to like dive into the dark eco or something like that, but
yeah,
Flu definitely showed up to play today, going for some pretty intense strats. Unfortunately, not nailing the lava walk, but making it very close for us, so that's good.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that had he nailed lava walk, like we would be so much closer right now. I think we'd be neck and neck. And Aslov's hitting the last 2 1 frames perfectly. It's gonna save him upwards of, I want to say 8 to 9 seconds, if I'm remembering correctly. Alright. Flu doesn't get a single 1 frame, but, you know.
Sad.
All depends on whether or not he's going for it, but it was still pretty good.
They must not be allowed to get it. Why
Wait,
both
Chad,
of
what time is Aslov getting? I'm confused.
Aslov should be getting a fairly high 54.
Okay, fine. We'll save the world. But do
Whoa,
it quickly
52?
before
That's
I change
crazy.
my mind.
It's crazy
Man.
that 52 is so close now.
I know. It's so strange to think about. I remember Josh's original push for 53 last year. We go Aslov with a 54-56. Very solid run. We got Flu not very far behind him. Looks like Flu's gonna be around like a 55-26, 25. 27-ish.
It might have been a 26. I think it was a 26. I
It
kind
might
of
have been a
flailed at
very
my keyboard
20.
there.
Well, it looks like
I'm surprised I didn't somehow reset the timer, I'm going to be really honest. But either way,
Yeah, that
very
that was
close
a-
race.
But Daxter,
Yeah, that was a
never
30-second
you
difference.
Don't worry about me, baby.
That was an amazing race to watch. I mean, Flu was just what is that?
Jack, you
Not
have an
8
incredible
seconds
talent
off of
for
PB.
channeling eco. Samos, you may have been right about
It's too early for me to do math right now.
Yeah, that's not my department. I'm not a mathematician. Even basic addition and subtraction is lost to me at times. But
Yeah.
we will try to get these runners in for interviews. I think they might be available. I don't know. I mean, it is the semifinals. Could see them hop in for an interview, maybe, possibly.
Perhaps.
Although we do have a lot more Jak and Daxter gaming to go. We will get into that in a moment, as it looks like we have racers popping into the chat. We got Aslov in here and Flu. How are you gamers doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, good.
Aslov, got a 54-56. Obviously a bit off your PB. Flu nailing. I mean, a 55-27 in a race for you is pretty sick. Am I
Yeah,
wrong
it's
in
pretty
that assessment?
sick. No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Not to put down Aslov's run. I mean, you both got pretty solid times here. Aslov, how do you feel about your performance? I mean, obviously not going for too much crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of shaky at times, and I was in a call with Flu the whole time, but
Yeah, we were,
yeah,
we
he
had
was
a
just
conversation.
he was right on my tail the entire time, so I was like, I was sweating because
I had him quaking.
yeah, dude.
That's good. That's
I-
good.
I started going for solo hops. I'm like, wow, if I like hit the cutscene, I just pretty much lose. And luckily, the bomb just like took away my chance of screwing up, so I just like recovered as best I could. But yeah, dude, Flu was playing really well. Like, if he didn't go for Lava Walk, he probably would have
54.
PB'd.
I would have got
like,
54.
Yeah, he's only like +5 on his PB, so that's pretty good.
Pretty sick, considering I lost all that time to Law Walk, so like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
Yeah,
That was a good ra- it was a
not
good
very
race.
often you hear a racer say, luckily the bomb was there. Like,
That was the first time I've gotten Slaying My Hops in weeks. Like, I've been like
Yeah.
in a drought.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that was-
realistically going for that at the end was a very dumb decision.
Yeah, the Slag My Hops was very pog. I definitely was hyped to see that come out from you, Flu. Very, very good race. Unfortunate you weren't able to nab the Lava Walk there. Would have made it much closer. I mean, you definitely would have PB'd off of that if it was Lava Walk positive, but...
No, it would have been like a 54-30 if I, but that'd been, I don't know, I wouldn't have really been suffice with that just because it's Law of Walk against Slag My Hop seems kind of cheap. Get 54 that way, but
Not even gonna submit that. Not even gonna submit that.
It's too easy, you know, getting Slime Up and Lava Walk.
you gotta have the mask, you gotta go to the massive history here and just not just cry every
Yeah.
night because you can't PB.
Yeah, very true,
Yeah.
very true. Well, we will take a look at the standings right now. Aslov moving on to the finals. We got Flu moving down to the bronze match. I'm not really sure why it's not showing you in the bronze match, but that's okay. We'll definitely put you in the bronze match either way. I don't think anybody else is available for that, so challenge having some problems, but that's okay. We got Josh versus Mike coming up. Aslov, which two of those runners are you more afraid of coming into the grand finals here?
It's hard to say because if Josh had been like grinding no LTS like he had been at the start of the tournament, I'd probably say Josh. But he's been playing other games recently, so I really can't tell like how Mike and Josh will compare like rust wise. So probably equal at this point.
Yeah, that is a good point. It will be a bit of a battle of who has more rust caked on them at this point. But we will be going to a short break here to get set up for that match. Should be here in less than 15 minutes. We'll give another shout out to the donation drive as Andy Gavin being the last supporter here. We can't let Andy Gavin be.
Actually?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the documents say. I mean, I can't
think
confirm
Andy
that.
Gavin- Okay.
Yeah.
Debated.
Yeah, I got hard debated there.
Either way, if you want to support the campaign, do type !donate in the chats. If you just want to promote it, I mean, feel free. !UAP to learn more about the Urban Arts Partnership. They do a lot of good stuff for the community, promoting speedrunning. They're pretty awesome. But we're going to go to a break, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes with Mike versus Outrag. So stick around.
He's talking about himself.
Should be exciting.
Yep, looking forward to it.